Good morning, everyone. It's Joker, and today we are back with another slime video. And today, I just kind of wanted to take a deeper look at Jean's kit prior to her actually releasing. So, I mean, I'm recording this right after the content preview and the skill preview went up, but it's not going to go out till tomorrow morning. Why? Because I need content. And two, it's easy. And three, I'm really gonna try and understand and show off what her second skill is going to attempt to do. So for people who are new, because there's a lot of new players for the 20th anniversary, they're not going to know what the fuck this skill 2 even means. Like they're going to look at it and be like, yeah, those are words. I don't know what they mean when put next to each other, but so this is more just context for people who just don't know because they haven't played the game for 3.5 years. So this Jean is coming out. She is space. She is a support alt character. She is not the DPS character that people were hoping for. But she seems to be fairly strong in very specific scenarios. So her first skill gives all element attack for all allies, including rearguard, by 100%. This is very reminiscent of second anniversary Hinata. Let's go find her real fast. What level are you? You're right here. Okay. So second Annie Hinata increases all allies all attribute attack by 50%. All attribute attack, including the rear guard. So this hits the back line now as well. So if someone's in the back waiting for their nuke turn, then this will still give it to them. 100%. 50%. Double the damage right there. Double the effect. Okay, cool. And then the Aegis power for charge type characters. So this requires two different things to be activated. One, you need someone with Aegis rate, because crit power, crit damage, or pierce power means nothing if you're not actually guaranteed to be critting or piercing. And the same goes for Aegis as well. And currently, the only character that gives Aegis rate in the game is the brand new Velzard, because it's a brand new buff. Velzard is the first character to have it, and therefore she is the only character that has Aegis rate 100%. So that is your first requirement, is that you need someone with Aegis rate to activate Aegis power. The second is it needs to be a charge character, which if you can go into any character and you can look at their tactics, and it says charge right here for the Raphael, or for a more relevant character like this Fount of Wisdom Hinata is a charge character. But if you go a little bit further down and you maybe look at the new Blanc, which everyone loves because she's the goddess of damage, she is not charge. She is speed. Which means that this Blanc, however absurdly powerful she is already, will not get the Aegis power buff, even if you bring Velzard to get the Aegis rate, because she is not a charge character. She is speed. So let's filter by charge now, and let's just kind of take a look at everyone who can get this buff. Raphael, Divine General Blanc, Freer and Infern, so the entire Freer and collab. Any character that is a stacking meta, whether it be blue or green or orange, if they are on like a long form 8-turn fight where all you do is send orbs and then you nuke on turn 8 with gigantic skill costs, that is the team that is going to benefit off of the Aegis power. So Tournament Stalwart Lumi, also a very good damage dealer, not going to get it. The new Blanc, not going to get it. The new Gobwa, not going to get it. Who's another good burst damage character? New Year's Blessing Rimuru, not going to get it. You do have two separate requirements to activate the full power of this skill, which for some people it's going to be fine because you started during the 3.5 anniversary. You have Velzard. Your only team is a charge-based team with Leon and the Masked Hero and Velzard. This skill will work great for that team. It will not work great for every team. And if you miss out on Velzard and you just never pull her, whether or not you don't want her or you tried and you just got shafted, you're not going to be able to benefit from this effect at all. So this skill looks really powerful, and it is going to be really powerful. It is just kind of restricted to a couple different things. But let's look at the second skill now. Sets the Soul of Combos gauge increase to the same amount as the Soul of Divine Protections, with gauge altering effects applied for 1 turn. And then additionally, gives blue orbs a 50% gain to your ult. So let's go into a fight and show off an example of why this is going to be important. Okay, here is a perfect example of why the Jean skill is going to be fairly important. So we are on turn 4. We have this great hand that we can convert, so let's just use Leon's convert. Alright, so we have 6 orbs. 2 of them are alts. We've brought Ritas, who only converts Earth alts, which means that we have 2 orbs here. And sending 6 blues when they are at 500% skill point increase gives you 293 skill points back. Okay, cool. Let me just burn some skills out really fast. Okay. So, 293 points if we were sending 6 blues. And we'd also get a lot of protection gauge. We are at 0 right now. But if we were to send all of this, we are not getting 293 skill points back. We are not getting 6 blue orbs worth of protection gauge. So this is how the skill is going to be important, because if we bring the new Jean, not only are we going to act like these 2 alt orbs are still going to, hit, because that's important for the weakness strike stacking and all that, and Ritas, it doesn't really matter. But what does matter is we'll get the maximum skill points, because it'll be like we're sending 6 blues still. Maximum skill points, maximum protection gauge that we can possibly get off of a full blue hand. It's just that we're not going to have blues. We're going to have alts and some blues. And without that skill, you are getting lower amounts of skill points and protection gauge back, which if you're trying to optimize and you're trying to go for the biggest big daddy damage with Leon as possible, you want as many stacks as possible. You want all these points to come back. We're missing 100 points off of this hand. Like, that's not an insignificant amount. That is a full 90-point buff right there, and change, which can make the difference between you nuking at full power on turn 8 or you nuking without one major buff. And that is going to severely, severely affect just your damage output and whether or not you win a fight. Because we're in Inferno 1. Milim has a butt ton of HP. You need all the damage that you can get. And even as a newer player in like EX2, 4 million HP is nothing to scoff at when you're just starting out. That's going to seem pretty insurmountable, even with a decent team. But without gear, without dupes, without good supports, you need all the stacks as you can. And by sending these alts, like, yeah, again, right here, we're not going to make that all back. So we could do this again, and we can convert again, and we can do this, and we're back down to 14 points. And we're going to have now 5 blues and 1 alt. But we're still not going to get back that full 293 skill points or the full amount of protection gauge that you're really looking for. Like, we're getting close because we're now sending 5 blues instead of 4 blues, and we're getting a little bit more protection gauge, but we're not actually getting capped out like we should be if we were sending 6. So that is the impact that Jean's skill is going to have on not just this blue stacking team, but any blue stacking team. Like, if we look at the list, and we go backwards, I guess. So, Prosper, Ogre's Pride, Commander, Primal Demon, well, maybe not Prosper, because it's a defense team, but specifically Ogre's Pride, or Primal Demon, or Commander, or Visions of Coleus, or maybe not them, the Old Warrior's Mind team. Like, she's going to work well on all those teams, as long as you also have Velzard. Or, 3 months from now when another Aegis character comes out that has Aegis rate. But, right now, you're going to need Jean, you're going to need Velzard to really make the most out of any blue stacking team. This is the first time that we've seen this skill point changing the alts to blues skill in general put into the game. So it's going to be a new experience for everybody. But I do recognize the value that it's going to bring because, one, right now, this team needs help. Like, I actually don't think this team is going to be able to kill Milim, who has how much HP on Inferno 1? How much? Oh my god. Yeah, 62 million HP. I don't think if we go 2 more turns and get stacks that this team as it's built is going to cut it. In fact, I know it's not with that Mirren being double sealed. So we need more power. Jean is going to bring us more power, and she's going to give us more stacks, and she's going to be able to get us more support alts for Velzard because it's also going to give us 50% to extra alt gauge. It's going to be really important. But Jean does have some requirements. One, she's only going to be really, really good on a blue stacking team. And if you didn't summon from this team because you don't like it or whatever, and you only have the Warrior's Mind team, you're not really doing much for that team. Like, there's no room for another 90-point buff on that team. If you have like Divine General or something, or the Freerun team, like, yeah, they're charged, but they're not blue orbs, so you're not really going to benefit off her second skill either. So you do have to kind of take stock in the primary team that you're going to attempt to run for 90% of the game, and just realize that this Jean is not going to fit 90% of those teams. She's going to fit a few teams in very specific scenarios with very specific support characters around her. So that is my overview for Jean for people who don't really understand the second skill and don't know what these restrictions are actually and how they're going to impact you. The alt AoE space magic attack for 150%. She's going to do the same amount of damage as Velzard does because they both have support alts. Velzard is buffing what is she buffing actually? She's buffing Spirit Master and something else. Dragon Kai? Yeah, Dragon Kai. Dragon Hockey. So she's buffing the same team and then a different team. And then Jean will buff the same team and then Primal Demons, which there are quite a few Primal Demons. So at least Blanc can get something from this. And Blanc will also get the all-element buff, but I mean, if you have Raphael, you might as well just use Raphael, because Raphael's actually going to give you more damage than what this Jean's going to do. Exalted Champions is an interesting pick. Exalted Champions is a burst team, and it's also a green orb team, so you're not going to benefit off this. You're not going to benefit from Aegis power, and you're not going to bring Velzard onto the Exalted Champions team to get the Aegis rate to begin with, so interesting pick. Primal Demon, she'll work great. Warrior's Mind, she'll work great. Spirit Master, she'll work great. Other teams, though, especially if they're not blue orb focused, like no, because this is a speed team, not a charge team. No, not a blue team. This is a defense team. No, yes. No, yes. No, yes. There are a lot more no's that I said than yeses, so just please keep that in mind. Without actually having used her, without seeing how powerful this buff is going to be, I would have to maybe lean people into not summoning for Jean until you have the 3 units from this banner. Velzard most importantly, because without Velzard, you're not going to activate half of Jean's skill. So Velzard, Hero, Leon. Those are your top 3 priorities if you are summoning for this meta specifically. And if you aren't, and you are summoning for like Warrior's Mind, this Jean really doesn't do much for you at that point. So you can pretty easily skip her and just move on with your day, because the Warrior's Mind team does enough damage for most content. Not all, but most. So that is much more important. Also, I think Gobwa and Shuna leave, tomorrow night, actually. A couple hours after Jean comes out. So if you have not yet pulled Shuna and or Gobwa, mostly Shuna though, she's very important for the Warrior's Mind team, and that's what you're trying to focus on, you have a day and a couple hours until she is gone for a year. I don't know. Some large amount of time. So if your entire point right now is to summon for Shuna and Gobwa, you got 27 hours, 26 hours or something to do that. But for everyone else, hopefully you found this video informative on this new Jean. We will again test her out later tonight, tomorrow technically, but tonight as of this video going up, and see how well she does with the Spirit Master team. Just know that she does have a few different restrictions that's gonna prevent her from being a very generic character, unlike Blanc, who can buff everybody while also buffing herself. So there's a big difference between these two characters. But let me know what you guys think. That's it for me. Take it easy, and I'll see you all later.